Picture an SDR on day one. They get a territory, not 10 accounts, hundreds, sometimes thousands. And somewhere in that pile are a few worth calling today. And the job is to find them by hand. But here's the trap. Sifting through a database isn't the job. The phone is the job. So every rep makes the same bad trade every single day. Skip the sifting and dial close to at random, which tanks your connect and meeting rates, or actually sift and lose hours, sometimes a week or two, on a fresh territory not dialing. Both options bleed. Here's the part nobody sees, and it's the whole game. The best clue about who to talk to and who to call is usually something a prospect already told you. A rep hears, "We're locked in, call us back in 3 years." That rep knows they won't be in the seat in 3 years, so they disqualify it and they move on. The account goes closed, and closed means invisible. 3 years pass, the window opens, a new rep owns the territory with zero context, and 9 times out of 10 they miss it because the account is buried at the bottom of a pile that nobody reopens. Same story on every territory handoff. You inherit the mess and start from scratch. Now someone's thinking, we have intent tools for this, and they're good, but 6 cents and zoom info read from the outside. They see funding, hiring, public moves. They have no idea what was said on your own calls. Call us at renewal is the strongest signal you'll ever get, and it's invisible to every intent tool on the market because it isn't public. It lives on your conversations and then it evaporates. So I didn't build something to help reps make more calls. I built something that makes the decisions they don't have the time to make. And it remembers the timing that they can't. It reads the history on every account, the calls, and the activity already logged, and makes one call for each. Should we work it now, come back to this at another date, or don't touch again? I call this open loops because every conversation leaves an open loop, and the job of this is to close it at the right moment. So let me show you where this lives in an actual scenario.
This is a rep's task list inside their engagement tool. We have intent data incorporated into this view with 14 accounts due today. Look at the top 2 here. They're hospital systems that have high intent, and if I were an SDR, I'd call these first. But little do we know, the team told us that they're on Epic and any third-party tools are a hard no. Now look at the bottom here. These intent scores are pretty low. But one of these is the best call this rep could make today, and they'd never think to call it. Now let's turn on the layer that reads your own calls. It's the same list, but due today drops from 14 to 4. Each comes with the reason that it surfaced and the exact line that the prospect said. The ones that aren't ready yet are scheduled for a hard date in the upcoming bucket, and the dead ends are muted. Now notice, the rep didn't lift a finger. There's no list to keep. There's no reminder to set. This just shows up in the tool that they're already working in, and we're taking work off of their plate instead of adding to it, which is the best way to get them to adopt anything. Now, this doesn't replace any intent tools. It sits on top of them. Intent tools find who's heating up from the outside, and this adds what your buyers told you on your own calls. So it makes sure that the follow-ups happen. And you want both. Now, we didn't make this rep faster. We changed what he works on today. Now, I want you to notice this. The account that's on the top of the work now list is old. It's closed lost, marked as recycled. Last time anybody talked to them was in 2023. There was no call recording because back then the team wasn't capturing calls, so there's no transcript to read. But this worked off of the activity that the rep logged. We got lucky because he wrote the notes down. And you can see we would only reconsider as we get close to a renewal. So call us then, not before. What do you know? Now's the time. So why has this been dormant for 3 years? Not because the note was missing, because the rep disqualified it to clear it from his queue. The recycled accounts are at the bottom of the bone pile, so it might as well be invisible. So what are the odds that a rep digs this back up on their own? Pretty close to 0. This brought it back because it rereads the buried accounts and surfaces ones whose moments have arrived. The rep who heard it has gone a long time ago, but the timing is now. So whoever owns the territory today has the full context handed over regardless. We just got another shot at an account that everybody else wrote off. Now we look here at the muted section, and the tools that were high intent, as we mentioned, are standardized on Epic, and they don't want any third-party tools. So this gives you the whole picture. Now check this out. This is the same data, but from a manager's lens. Every data callback the system is holding is routed to whoever owns the account now. And it's bucketed by when it comes due. And a full, well-spread book is a healthy rep, and a thin book is all sitting in later. But now we can mitigate that issue before it becomes a missed quota. This is a pipeline health metric that didn't exist before, and it's built entirely from conversations you've already had with your prospects. And this isn't just a cute dashboard. This actually runs. I'll start it now because it might take a few minutes, so I'll explain it as we go. Let me walk you through the steps here. First, it reads the call itself, and this is coming from a Supabase SQL database. In production, this would come from Orem or Gong or Salesforce, and we're capturing 50 items at this point because we want to retroactively put these into the database. We've got a model making the decisions on our behalf, whether or not it's something that we should work now, revisit, or suppress. And it's going through those calls one by one. If we had this up and running, it would be taking one call at a time. Now, the switch turns that decision into action, and it puts it into different arms. We could work it now, we could revisit it, or suppress it. And what that does is it puts it into different tables. Now, the work now arm puts it into the same SQL database under a different table. In production, these would be Salesforce activities, and this would write back into Salesforce. Now it finished. For our intents and purposes today, we're using this SQL database. The revisit arm writes back into the database, and the suppress arm gets muted. Now we had a successful run here, so we can see that this worked.
I kept this simple on purpose because the fastest way to kill adoption is to ship something nobody can hold in their head. The next step is the life cycle. A no isn't forever. Leadership changes, companies get acquired, and the in-house system gets ripped out. So a suppressed account gets rechecked on a longer timer and wakes up the moment something changes. And this isn't only for SDRs. The pattern fits anywhere on a team that's drowning in volume and needs decisions about what deserves a human. This includes marketing. The engine just reads a different signal and makes a call. So that's open loops. It doesn't help your reps work the list faster. It changes what the list is. The first place we point this to is the SDRs, sifting a bone pile by hand for the few accounts that are ready and missing most of them. So that was never the question. The real question is, how much pipeline are you willing to keep burying quarter after quarter while you staff your way around the same pile?